Hello and welcome to the Bald and the Beardiful. I'm Bryce.
I'm Chris,
I'm Bald,
and I am beautiful.
and happy May the 4th to be with you. You got some freaky background going on.
It was along the lines of the theme for today, May the 4th, Star Wars Day. Lots
Oh
of
yeah.
lots going on, or not necessarily lots going on because we're all still stuck in the house. But on a
Oh yeah.
positive note, all the Star Wars, like everything, is now available on Disney Plus today, officially today.
Oh, the last one.
Yeah, they
Oh,
they let it they released it as of today. I actually watched it, The Rise of Skywalker.
did you see it in theaters, or is that the first time you watched it?
No, I saw it in theaters.
Okay. Yeah.
Not my favorite, but definitely worth watching.
Um, it's hard to pick a favorite. Like I do like. Actually, you know what? Honestly, you know what my favorite thing about the Star Wars universe is actually the animated series, The Clone Wars. Hands down, my favorite.
I have not seen the animated series. I haven't seen the Clone Wars yet.
It's
I've
great.
well, I mean, I have time now, so I might as well get into it. Maybe I'll slip that in after my daily dose of The Price is Right.
Yeah, it's a really good TV series. They mix it up in the form of like every 3 episodes it's is its own little like um I guess you could call it if there's 30 minutes, yeah, call it like every 33 episodes is like its own little movie. So like every 3 episodes, like the situation changes. There's a new dilemma going on. Sometimes the seasons change from being more about the war and or like the battlefront versus the like the negotiation side of it all. So it's got a good mix of everything to it.
Well, then didn't they add an additional, like, I don't know if it's miniseries or season or whatever, specifically for Disney Plus of the Clone Wars like
They
animated
did
series?
add another season, which is I haven't seen it yet, and seeing how the end of season 6 flows to Revenge of the Sith, I'm kind of curious what they did with it.
I haven't watched it. I've only seen it come up, so I figured I was going to start from the beginning. I'll watch through uh,
Yeah,
through the whole thing now that it's there, and then it'll give me something to watch that Sam won't care if I watch on my own.
yeah. And as a close second, obviously, you got the Mandalorian, the new series that I think is doing very, very well.
Excited for the second season in October.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
really did like the first season. Like, I like that it's like spaghetti western. Like it very much is, and the fact that like I do like that each episode
yeah.
is technically a standalone, but it has an overarching storyline
Story. Yeah,
as
absolutely.
well. Um, I feel like it could do a little bit more with the plot development because they're only doing
Maybe.
it in like each episode's what only it's only 30 minutes, right?
Right.
So you can push it, or it's either 30 minutes or it's 45 minutes. I don't remember which. It might be 45 actually, but either way, like I feel like you could push it another 15 minutes and still keep the audience engaged, and it's not too long for like the younger audience still, and you could develop the storyline a little bit more to like and you do a little bit more with it, right? But also, what's cool about the next season, the second season, is that Jon Favreau will be completely dedicated to it. Jon Favreau is like he helped direct, but he produced The Mandalorian, but he was directing The Lion King at the time.
Okay.
So he wasn't dedicating 100% of his time to the project. That's why he
Well,
brought in a lot of other directors. Like that's why he kind of designed it the way that he designed it. He was like co-directing, but like there were he brought in other directors for each episode to like head it up and have their own vision and kind of do their own storytelling. That's why there's there are some like directorial you can notice some directorial differences and cinematic differences between the different episodes depending upon what was going on and who directed it, right?
well, if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? It seems to be doing great.
But I like Jon Favreau as a director. Period. Like I think he's really good. So I think him being the lead for the whole thing, I think will add like and having other people come in, I think it'll add to it. Overall, I think the second season is really good. But
No,
keeping along the theme, though, we talked about. You said you did say that Clone Wars was your favorite as far
yeah.
as any Star Wars like show, right? But we got to go out of the trilogy, the actual like movies. Got to pick a favorite. Everybody has a favorite. You got to pick one.
Um, Out of all of them, that is a tough one. Um, I see. The thing is, I want to say the Revenge of the Sith. If the guy who played Anakin did a better job as converting to Vader. Um, like, because that's supposed to be like a huge moment in the turn of everything. Like that movie is supposed to be the turning point of the entire series. Um, and honestly, like there's so much backstory with I'm blanking the planet name with the lava. Can you think of it? It starts with an M.
No, I don't remember.
I can't. I'm blanking it
The
right now.
first three really are not
Yeah.
my
Well,
some of my favorites. I
that
don't.
particular planet to Vader is like his it's his center basically. That's like it's so it that it's like, I think that could have been a much better movie. Um, but to go
Mustafar.
favorite Mustafar.
We have the
Uh,
internet. I don't know why we just didn't Google it.
um, trying to seem somewhat professional, but who the heck knows? I'm just gonna talk. I
I do
just talk
not
on my
claim
butt.
to be like an expert on Star Wars. I am a fan by far,
Oh yeah,
but there's.
I've watched so many videos of people who know way more than I do,
I'm
who've
not trying to
watched
compete.
way more than I have.
I find when you get that deep and that obsessed with with things that become it doesn't like it's not fun anymore. Like I like to keep it on a fun level of fandom. Like I do know like I'm like I could pass quite a few quizzes, you know, especially like with some obscure ish knowledge, but like not deep obscure knowledge. I'm not that good.
You see what I used to do when I used to drive a lot. I could play music or YouTube or whatever, and I could set a YouTube channel, and it would just go into background stories of just random. Either I did it for Harry Potter, I did it for Star Wars, and just learned the most random information that a normal viewer would just not know. Like the story of when Vader first made his red crystal. That was an interesting story, and like his big obsession of trying to find Obi-Wan after Order 66 and stuff like that. Like I found it pretty interesting, but I didn't go as far into it as yet. It became not tedious. What's the word I'm looking for? It just became unappealing.
Got it. No, that works. As far as movies wise though, like for me, I'm definitely a purist. I got to go with Empire. Empire is by far is still the best out of all of the movies. You know, prequels. Well, not really prequels. I refer to them as prequels, or the new set with Rey. Empire was such an epic, like story piece of the story. You have like you really see like the conflict and like how much like the rebellion is an underdog and in the fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously like the big reveal that Vader is Luke's father is a huge moment, especially like as a kid. When you watch it as a kid and you don't necessarily see it coming, like you're just like, what? No. And it's like truly upsetting, like when you identify with like, you know what I mean? You're rooting for the underdog and the good guy, and like there's a lot of action. There's like a lot of really cool like scenery in Empire, right? Because you have Hoth and the cool like I like the snow speeders. The snow speeders were one of my favorite like scenes of the snow speeders. But you also have like the Cloud City, and you get introduced to Dagobah. Right?
Okay.
So there's a lot of like visual, like there's really cool visuals to it. Yoda's introduced in Empire, right?
Do you have a least favorite?
Least favorite?
Yeah.
It's a hands down tie with anything with Jar Jar Binks in it. I just don't like him. Like a lot of people, he's too whimsical for the series. I think that's really what it is. He actually he could be a better character. I just think that the execution on it like really took away from the story. Like he's too whimsical of a character.
I wasn't a huge fan of The Last Jedi. I felt like nothing happened. I feel like it was an in-between episode of The Force Awakens and The Rise of Skywalker.
That's so. J.J. Abrams took on that one, right? He took over as the director.
Possibly. I don't know.
Or
Like all it was them
we really need
escaping
to
from a
start
planet,
doing research. Well,
running from the First Order, a complete side series to get a hacker who they didn't get, absolutely trusting another guy that somehow knew how to do what they were going to do, and then also a what a
no, it was not
what's
J.J. Abrams. It was
okay.
Ryan Johnson, and he basically, yeah, no, now I remember. So like he basically was like he came in and took over because J.J. Abrams did the Force Awakens. I'm almost positive on that
Oh
one.
yeah. So and there was a mutiny that led to nothing. A mutiny that didn't lead to either them completing it or even a complete dismissal from the rebellion. It was like, oh yeah, but we like him. He's still our best pilot. So yeah, screw it, keep him around.
Yeah, it was. Um,
then I won't
um,
train you. I won't train
wait,
you. I will train you.
here it is. Yeah, J.J. Abrams did direct The Force Awakens. Either way, yeah, in The Last Jedi, like basically the director was like, I'm gonna do my own thing. I'm not really gonna continue the story. And like, yeah, you're right. There's a ton of plot holes. There's conflict, unnecessary conflict, right? Like
Yes.
it was, Poe. Not that Poe is like at this point he's still like a hot shot like pilot, right? At this point, hasn't really his character hasn't evolved
Well, I
into
think I was told that
this
Poe was
leader.
supposed to actually die in the first one. That
He
he
was his
originally,
yeah.
yeah.
He wasn't supposed to. Yeah, he was supposed to not necessarily die in the first one, but his character wasn't supposed to be like a major character, and it got his character tested so well, and the audience really liked him that they decided to change it up. I mean, that happens with characters all the time. Like the little girl in Game of Thrones. She's the head of house. The
We're gonna
bear
piss off
house.
all two of our fans, but I
All
haven't
two of
seen
our
Game of
fans.
Thrones.
Either way, I can't remember the. I'm gonna mispronounce it, but either way, her character in the books is actually pretty limited, and then but she tested so well that like they and everybody really liked her character that they kept her along, and then like her death that in the last season like they really like drummed up her death a little bit like and it felt befitting of her character and the like and that piece. But either way, but like Poe, same with Poe, like they decided to keep his character and write his character in, even though he's not necessarily supposed to be a big character, and he does. I think he does technically die, right?
Yeah.
But with the yeah, with the Last Jedi, like the whole like yeah, I have a plan, but I'm not going to tell you. Like, why would you not tell one of like General Organa's most trusted people and bring him
Yeah.
in on what's going on? And like two, like like when you can see that like it's causing issues, why not? It just didn't make a whole lot of
It's
sense.
not good for morale.
Yeah, I mean, and
as shown.
yeah, and then it was one of those things that like it was forced drama and forced conflict when it didn't really need to exist, right? Like because it very like especially since like he's a pain in the ass, but I like him anyway. Like, but if you liked him anyway, why go through this whole thing of like of not bringing him in, or like, or at the very or you could very much be like, hey, I need you to trust me, right? I need to do like as the new leader heading up what's going on. Like, I need you in my corner. I need you on my side. Like, I need this from you, right? Like, as a leader, that's what you do. You don't take like somebody who very much could stage a mutiny and take over. Very much so. Like, considering like even though she was like a well-respected general, and like they also don't go into her backstory about like her like because he mentions the battle whatever that she was a part of and where she got her reputation from. Like, they didn't really give her backstory either. That was the other thing too, that like you had to go and do side research when he was like, oh, that general was from XYZ battle, like whatever. Oh, it's her. Like, if she's that well respected, like we should know about it, or like as part of that, like there should have been some sort of flashback or to her big victory, right? Or whatever battle that she was a part of that she got, crazy reputation for, right?
You know what I couldn't get over? So I love the scene where they take the main cruise ship and hyperspace it right into Snoke's vessel. My only question is, you had other ships that got shot down prior to this with captains that still went down with those ships. Why
Why
didn't
didn't
you do
somebody do
this
that ahead
sooner?
of time? Yeah.
Yeah, why wasn't this done sooner?
Like I said, plot holes. And the other thing is too, like it's. Did you ever watch the new series Battlestar Galactica?
No, I never. I don't think I've even seen the old series of Battlestar Galactica.
Plenty of people did. It was actually super popular during it.
I'm not saying it wasn't. I'm just saying I never got into it. I'm not
No.
bashing it by any
The,
means. I don't know enough about it to bash it.
the new one's actually really good. I forgot what streaming platform it's on. You might be able to get it on Prime. Either way, that's a whole other series. But I'd say if you're looking for something that you haven't gotten into before that you could like, and it's very much has a lot of battles, a lot of context, and it has a pretty rich storyline. Like I would recommend that. But there is literally an episode in Battlestar Galactica that is almost the exact same plot as Last Jedi. Like as far as like they're running away from the battle, the battle cruiser, they're running out of gas or fuel basically, and they need they're sending out different people on missions to like basically save them, right? And that episode was only a 40, I think it's 45 minute episode, right? I think was executed better than The Last Jedi. Like as far as it has similar themes, similar like whatever, right? Like it was executed better and in a short amount of time with less money behind it, like the whole deal, right? So it's something that you'll have to. I mean, you'll have to watch. You'll have to watch it and see. I can figure out which episode it is, and I'll let you know. But they literally watching this and watching. I'm like, I've seen this before, but like the whole thing was like stupid too. Like also with the whole like they can track us through hyperspace, like it randomly, like just out of nowhere, they all of a sudden have this technology that they never knew existed, and like how does it magically track them through hyperspace? Like it didn't go into a whole lot of explanation. And it was just kind of just a random, it was again, just a random thing that they inserted without any backstory, any rhyme or reason in order to cause conflict.
Yeah, the one cool thing, honestly, from that particular movie was the fact that you see Leia using the Force powers. Like it's in just the regular movies. I'm sure there's plenty of stuff about it and stuff that I've never read or gone into, but I've never seen anything inside the movies that suggests that she and Luke actually did training until that moment, and then like the flashbacks in The Rise of Skywalker, which were, if that movie was just entirely a flashback to them training, I would have loved it because it looked like it would have been really cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that could have with the second or the last trilogy, the last three movies. I feel like they could have gone a different way with it. There's a lot of potential for it, like. It really could have been started instead of it being where I'm not saying that still have Rey's. You could still have Rey's character at some point. Probably would have been better to bring her about like later in the first movie. But like I really feel like they should have touched more on Luke reopening. They either could have gone with Luke.
I would disagree with bringing Rey in later. Because I mean, it's like the episode 1. You're bringing in Skywalker in halfway through the movie. That movie has no main character.
Because Rey's not necessarily the main character. She was
the main character throughout the entire third trilogy. That's who they followed. That's what the whole buildup was who is Rey? Why does she have these Force powers? Who is she actually?
You're missing the point.
She becomes.
You're missing the point. Rey didn't need to be the main character. What I'm saying is you could have gone a different way instead of basically the last trilogy basically rewrote the original again with a female lead. That's exactly what it was. It's exactly the same plot is through the whole thing, right? Like you have a somewhat grown-ish way past the Jedi training, age group, right? Who's Force sensitive, super Force sensitive. That discovers her way unknowingly, has some advisor in Luke, right? And then the middle is just trash because Rian Johnson did his own thing, right? And then they brought it, and then in the last movie, it's essentially Return of the Jedi again. Really, it is.
There's Yeah, no, there's a lot, definitely a lot of similarities, and just with like the little key like changes, like Luke wanting to being anxious about learning the Force, Rey was not. Um, uh, Obi-Wan and Yoda more or less really wanting to train Luke, and then Luke just being like, "No, I don't want to train you." Like there's like little key differences that make it seem a little different, but it's not.
It's slightly different, but not.
Yeah,
But what I was saying is that they should have, instead of it being instead of it just being like that, they should have started with like Luke, either the third trilogy basically should have either been about Luke's adventures around the universe, basically, or around the galaxy, after Return of the Jedi, right? After because he for a little bit he does troll around in the Falcon searching for artifacts, Jedi and Sith artifacts, and a bunch of other stuff, and he fights a bunch of people, right? That's part of it. Or you could have started with him reopening the Jedi Academy, right? And then you could have had the fall of Ben, right? Of Ben
yeah,
Solo and the rise of Kylo Ren, right? Like that
yep.
could have been like that could have been the story instead.
And you could have had a whole side story about the House of Ren that recruited Kylo.
Yeah, could have had that too, right? I'm saying, and you could have introduced Rey as another character of like and it could have been Luke as a master without the people after the fall, right? Trying to find Rey and Ben and him going up against Kylo, right? And then you could even tie it back to the same thing of like in the first series, like in A New Hope, where Luke could have willingly sacrificed himself to Kylo Ren in order for Rey to come to fruition as a Jedi, right? Like to come full circle to be a Jedi, right? That whole thing, you could have done that as well and kind of still have that nostalgic kind of feel to it. So there's just I think there's a lot that could have been done. I understand the why behind
I don't know why the voice just clicked of when Vader says no. What's the actual quote? It doesn't say Luke, I'm your father. He says no, I'm your father, something like that.
Yeah, she goes, he told me you killed him. Yeah, and then he goes, no, I am your father.
That voice popped in my head at the end of I don't want to say because it's a dang spoiler. It
Spoiler
basically
for what?
It's the spoiler for the end of the Rise of Skywalker.
Everybody should have seen it by now. Like it's well past the time where we have to worry about spoilers.
Right,
like it came out in December.
Then we'll say spoiler alert. It went from "I am your father" to "I am your grandfather." It's basically what it was.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Yeah, and then Rey's discovery of her being a Palpatine, like, was kind of like, it was anticlimactic. Actually, I felt it was anticlimactic. The discovering that she was a Palpatine was very anticlimactic.
I honestly I like the direction they went with it of trying to bring back, like, he's been the main villain since the beginning. Like I get it.
So many other like villains that they could have brought in. So many other, like, even in the expanded universe.
He's supposed to be like the most powerful Sith that's ever lived.
Yeah.
But
it's just disappointing. Like it could have been like, because I was hoping they were going to bring in they were going to introduce, you could have still had him be around but not be necessarily the main villain. He could have been the puppeteer at the end. Like you still could have had that like end a little bit, but I would have liked to have had another.
Snoke was a complete waste of character in space.
I think Darth Revan would have been great. Would have been super. Would have been a super great character to bring in. Would have had a crazy on-screen presence, and whatever.
Yeah, what can you do?
What can you do? All right. So, moving on from. So we've talked. Yeah, we talked about our favorites. Basically, the ones that we don't like. I think that kind of covers it. Now, before we get into some trivia. We did discuss that we would talk about our lightsaber. Which lightsaber would you choose if you had the option for a lightsaber?
I'm definitely not a dark side guy. I could say I was, but I'd be lying to myself and everyone who watches. If I had to say, I think I'd be a blue wielder, a blue lightsaber wielder versus versus wanting to be a green one. If for those that don't know, green usually means that you're more in tune with the Force, which I say to myself that I wouldn't want to be, because you definitely be a little more powerful and definitely a more of a force to be reckoned with in my own book. But I think just from my own personality wise of who I feel like I am, I would end up being more of a blue lightsaber, which is more the knight side, the lightsaber skilled side of it. What about you?
Okay, so are we just sticking to like original colors, or are we going with expanded universe colors?
If you want to venture out, go for it.
I mean, see, I'm gonna go both. Like, so if we're going original, like I think I fall more in that green. Peace through force makes sense for me. Like, it definitely does. I mean, and it shows and it also shows the evolution, right? Like a lot of times, like it's an evolution. You don't start with the same color lightsaber, and it's through experience. It's always like and also like they're the ones that kind of bend the rules. They still fall on they may skirt that line a little bit. They may cross the line a little from time to time, but they're always like, they're the ones that are willing to be rebellious when it's the right thing to do. Like Qui-Gon is a perfect example. I think he is probably the perfect embodiment of a green lightsaber wielder. Even though Yoda does wield a green lightsaber, I think and I think that's more of his, that shows more of his force ability. That's more represents his force ability than his like willingness to skirt the rules. Even though he definitely does from time to time. But Qui-Gon is far more of a rebellious and more into the I'm going to bend the rules when it's the right thing to do.
I don't know. I think Obi-Wan actually got married and totally broke the rules. So
Obi-Wan?
No, he wasn't married. He did have a love interest, though. You're not supposed to have one.
Happens.
It's in the cartoons.
Well, you're also not. Yeah, but they're imperfect, right? The point isn't to be perfect. It's to strive for balance, right?
Yeah, it's to have a balance.
And then if we're gonna hop into expanded universe, though, I definitely think I'd go with the orange lightsaber. I think that.
Want to explain it?
Sure. So really, like, actually, it's used by the Sentinel class for stealth and ingenuity to combat. No, not that one. That's like a tangerine color. There's one where it's more of that's more of a dark orange. I guess the tangerine color is the powerful Jedi. The saber color is extremely rare and correlates with extreme strength. The character that wields it there's one character that's listed that I see here. It's Lobaka. But I think that'd be a fun color. Or like you could do like the kind of the yellow orange, kind of what like Rey wields at the very end of Rise of Skywalker, right? Which is strength on the light side, used by highly skilled fighters. So that's probably I think that's fitting. I don't necessarily fit in with the extreme strength piece, but I think I fall in that like yellowy orange kind of color where it's that strength on the light side type thing.
Does it say what purple means?
Purple is still considered one of the original ones. It's moral ambiguity. So it's Jedi who use both light and dark side techniques with an aggressive style. The purple color may be interpreted as a mixture of blue, which is good, and red, which is evil.
I would like to be in that area, because there's in both. If you limit yourself to just one side, you're not getting all of the force.
Yeah. All right. So, are you ready for some trivia?
This is some trivia. So the rules trivia. We 10 questions per person. Whoever gets the most from the other, I guess, wins. Do we have a winning or losing prize?
Nah.
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 You're no fun.
Whatever. All right, you're gonna have to keep score because I don't have anything to tally with.
Yeah, I got some pen and paper.
I was so prepared for this. Well, wasn't prepared to keep score, but all right. Would you like to
Yeah, I'll start with the questions. So, well, I'll just tally the ones we get right. Hang on a second. All right. All right. So I'll try to keep it somewhat simple, but still somewhat, challenging. Who played Queen Amidala's decoy in Handmaiden?
Like the actress?
Yes, the actress. She's very well known. Is someone you actually do know. I'll give some hints. I don't want to give a hint that gives it too much. She yeah, let's just say it. She was also in Black Swan.
What?
Mm-hmm. One more. She was also in Pirates of the Caribbean. Oh, you better
Talking
know
about
this by
Keira
now.
Knightley?
There you go.
When was she?
She was the one. She was the one that dies, I believe. The one that dies in the very first movie when they blow up the ship.
Okay.
Yeah. The more you know.
All right.
That was a gimme. All right. So this one doesn't have any help. What planet does Obi-Wan travel to where he discovers the clone army? What's the name of the planet?
Geonosis.
No, that is wrong. Geonosis is the big bug planet where they all get trapped and get sacrificed to the big bugs. It is Camino. Planet
Okay.
Camino, the big water planet. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know the big water planet, but I thought that was Geonosis.
Nope, Geonosis is the other one. You know where the final battle for the Clone Wars?
Yeah.
Yeah. On the subject of Geonosis, who serves as the genetic template for the Republic's clone army?
It is Jango Fett.
It is indeed Jango Fett.
I just think about it. I'm like, his son is Boba. Which one is he? Damn it.
Side question, not just to see if you know this. Who kills him?
Who kills Jango?
Yeah,
Mace Windu.
there you go. Yeah, that was not question 4, but
Bonus question? It's a bonus question?
Bonus question.
All right.
I said I was going to ask this one, but you already kind of answered it. As to what planet does Obi-Wan, Padme, and Anakin get captured and rescued?
That's Geonosis.
That would be Geonosis. So who is the Sith leader of the Separatist movement, and who is his Jedi master? That's question 4.
Who is this?
Sith leader of the Separatist movement, and who is his master, his Jedi master, or was his Jedi master?
Okay, so are we saying Dooku, and then Darth Sidious would be his master?
Not the Jedi master. Who was his Jedi master?
Oh, who is his Jedi?
Who was? Yes.
Whose master was?
Yes.
It's Yoda, isn't it?
It was indeed Yoda. Good job. You're 3 of 4 so far.
All right.
All right. I don't even know that one. I don't even know who that is. I'm scrolling through these questions. How many arms of Anakin's does Dooku cut off? Or sorry, not how many. Which arm? You have a 50-50 shot here.
Let's see. Well, how many?
No, how many? Which one?
Right.
There you go. All right, number 6. How many years separate Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith in the movie time?
Attack of the Clones. Has to be isn't it it's like 10 years, something like that? I'm gonna say
three.
10.
It's 3. I feel like the between episode 1 and 2 might be about 10 years, something like that. Just
So yeah, well, because I think what is it when they find Anakin, he's like 8 or something like that, right? And then he's like, yeah, he's like 15, 16 in the second one, and then yeah, he'd be like 18 or 19 in the third one. But then that also makes like Amidala like 30. it does. He's technically, yeah, he's like 8, and then he's probably about 15-ish when he in the second one. But she's like, I think she's supposed to be like 8. Actually, I think she's only supposed to be like 8 years his senior in the first one. She's like 16. She's like in high school, basically. She's like high school age as the queen. That's like a part of the, I believe, is what's supposed to be. She's not like 20, 30, right? She's like 16-ish, somewhere in that range. So she's only like 8 years older than him. So I guess it's not that bad, because then if he's 18, then she's like 26. So it's not horrible, but like still. Or not 26.
That's not even.
He would be 26, yeah.
Oh, he's only 36?
20,
yeah. Okay,
206, 26.
Yeah, 26 to 18 is not that bad.
It's not horrible. But
not horrible. I mean, we don't know what the age of consent in the Star Wars universe is. It could be 20.
Yeah.
Then it is really bad. All right. In the original 3, the original trilogy, who is the only non-Jedi to wield a lightsaber?
In the original?
In the original 3.
So you're talking about
6 through
4, 5, and 6?
Yeah, 4, 5, and 6.
On Jedi to wield a lightsaber.
Yes.
It's Han. It's in Empire. He picks up Luke's lightsaber to open up the Tauntaun.
He sure does. Good job. You missed 2 so far. We have 3 more questions. All right. What was this could be a good one. What part of the Millennium Falcon is malfunctioning throughout the Empire Strikes Back movie, keeping them from escaping the Empire?
Hyperdrive.
Indeed, it is. Good job. I actually don't know if I would have known that. I think I probably would have guessed, but
I've seen that enough times. Like I've seen the original trilogy like far more than any of the other ones.
My 10th one's going to be decently hard. I don't know if you're going to know that. I don't. That's fine. That's too easy. Oh, we all know that. I think I'm just gonna give you another gimme because I was just gonna keep strolling for one that I think is decently hard. What is the cause of Han's temporary blindness in Return of the
Jedi? His encasement in carbonite.
Hibernation
sickness.
There you go. So we're looking for the term that Leia used.
That's fine. Right. Yeah, I know what it is. All right.
All right. This is number 10, so this is gonna be the hardest. Right. What race of alien is Admiral Akbar?
Bothan.
No.
Nope.
I'll give you a second shot.
I don't know then.
Do you remember who Admiral Akbar is?
Yeah, it's a trap.
Yes.
It's the squid dude.
Yes. His race is the Mon Calamari.
Oh shit! You're right. God damn it.
Yes, I know I'm right. I'm looking at the question.
No, it's because the Bothans are the ones that help get the plans. I'm thinking, and I mistook his race for the yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, you still got 7. I mean, these aren't necessarily overly hard.
Okay.
All right. So what do you got for me?
All right. Let's see. I'm probably gonna have to scroll too because I think you got some of the ones that I have on my list as well.
Yeah. I mean,
what did Jar Jar Binks end up owing Qui-Gon Jinn after being rescued by the same during the invasion of Naboo? It's multiple choice. I'll give you multiple choice.
All right.
A trip to Ota Gunga, a bongo, an honor debt, or 9,000 credits?
It's definitely an honor debt.
It is an honor debt.
Because my first thought was like I think you said like I owe you my life or something like that. So I was around that area. So as soon as you said honor debt, I was like, yeah, that's definitely it.
Here should be an easy one. All right. So, what is the color of C-3PO's arm in Star Wars: The Force Awakens?
Red.
That is correct.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's a whole backstory to that, but I never looked into it.
Okay, here we go. What was the job that Finn told Han Solo he had at Starkiller Base? And I can give you multiple choice if you want it.
I know I don't know the technical term. I know he was the sanitation.
Yeah, it's
sanitation. There it is. Sanitation. Yeah. I was thinking like custodian. Yeah.
Okay. Here's a hard one. I would give you some gimmies.
All right.
Where were the Hoth sequences filmed? And I'll give you multiple choice so you can have a little bit.
Yeah. And if it's just about the movie, not in the movie, that's where I struggle.
Norway, Denmark, Iceland, or Greenland?
I'm going to go Greenland.
No, it is Norway.
Is Norway? I knew it wasn't Iceland.
Because Iceland is green?
Yes. What movie is that? Oh, The Mighty Ducks. That's what.
Yeah. How many questions is that? I haven't.
That is 4. I've gotten 3 or 4.
All right. That's a gimme. Oh, here's one. This is actually what we were talking about, and I kind of gave you a clue, but I apparently was wrong. How old was Anakin Skywalker during the battle on Geonosis?
Oh, geez.
Okay, so I'll give it to it's 21, 19, 20, or 22.
You couldn't at least say them in order. you at least mixed it up.
Okay, so it's 19, 20, 21, or 22.
Oh, man. I'm going to go with 19.
He was 20.
Oh, dang.
See, I was close. He was I said 18, 19, so I was a little bit off when I was in our discussion, but
yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, no, I had no idea. Do you remember which animal attacks who?
Yeah. So the tiger thing attacks Amidala.
Mm-hmm.
The mantis thing attacks Obi-Wan, and then the rhino thing attacks Anakin.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, here's one. What species was Yoda? I'll give you the multiple choice here.
Once I hear it, I know it.
Trilith, Trilith, Yolor, Yolor, or Yangrel, Yangral. And if there's anybody watching and I mispronounce any of those, not that I really believe anybody watching is going to know how to pronounce those, I don't care. But feel free to leave it in the comments and talk crap about me not being able to pronounce those.
I know that there's a huge mystery behind his race. There's been multiple Jedi in his race, and they don't know where they're from. I feel like they should know what they're called, but I want to go with unknown.
It is unknown.
Oh yes! I just knew that there was a huge mystery behind it all.
So is that 6 or 5? No, it's 5. Right?
That's 6.
That's 6. Okay.
Yeah, because I got the age wrong.
All right. Ooh, let's see if you know this one. This one's kind of hard. Actually, I'll save that one for the end. Because I don't think I know the answer to that one.
All right.
that's another. Okay, here's one. You should know this one. How many lightsabers does General Grievous wield in his fight with Obi-Wan on Utapai? Utapo? I don't know. Utapau.
It's 4. Yeah.
The answer is 4?
Yeah. General Grievous with the 2 arms that go into 4, and he starts spinning 2 of them. It's a good fight scene. General Grievous has a good backstory.
Okay, let's see here. According to Obi-Wan Kenobi, how long had the Jedi been the guardians of peace and justice in the galaxy?
Good God.
All right, so here we go. I'll give you a multiple guess here. For more than 100 generations, for more than 1,000 generations, for more than 2 millennia, or more than 1,000 years.
I want to go 2 millennia.
More than 1,000 generations.
When was? Do you have any idea when that conversation was?
Do
you have any idea when that conversation was? I'm thinking.
I think it's actually in Revenge of the Sith, to be honest.
Is it?
I think it is. I think he's like. I think. Meh. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's see. That's 8, right?
Yes, 2 more.
All right, I'll give you an easy one. Because I don't want to give you a harder one. For 10 here. Okay, so
right.
who gave FN 2187 his new name when they found out that he didn't have a real name?
Yeah, Poe called him Finn. Yeah.
It's Poe Dameron, yeah. All right, let me find the one that I skipped.
All right, so as of now, we're tied, just so you know.
That's fair. I mean, I could have just made them extremely hard. Okay, here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Ready for this?
I could have done the same.
All right. So, which bounty hunter was trying to capture Han Solo when Greedo arrived first? This is in A New Hope. This is in 4. So.
I would think I would.
You want me to repeat it?
No, I heard it. Yeah, which bounty hunter was?
Do you want your multiple choices?
It could be a few. I mean, I know the one that ends up getting him. I don't know how long he was hunting him is the thing.
Yeah, so which bounty hunter was trying to capture Han Solo when Greedo arrived first? Is it Boba Fett, Dans Boren, Aura Singh, or Bosk? Bosk. It's Bosk.
Yeah, I know Bosk is the reptile hunter. I gotta go with Boba because I thought it was Boba.
It's Dans Boren.
Yeah, that's a good one. I didn't know who was hunting. I mean, I know Boba ends up getting him, but I think Darth Vader also enlisted a bunch of other bounty hunters in the Empire Strikes Back to actually capture him. Or not. Well, yeah, Vader does, but Jabba hires a bunch of bounty hunters too to bring him back to Tatooine.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and he employs a bunch of them. So apparently, like, he's just like in the background. I looked up the image, and apparently, like, he's just in the background of when they're in the cantina before Greedo approaches Han. Yeah, he's sitting in the back. So it's like really obscure.
I'm just looking at all these other questions, and some of them are relatively easy, just if you've seen the movie.
Yeah. Here's one I don't know. What was the name of the standard rifle carried by the clone troopers?
The name of the rifle?
Yeah, DC-15A, DC-207A, DC-14SQ, or DC-15SQ.
See, I was gonna call it a blaster.
So
I have,
nope.
I have, I have no idea.
It is the DC-15A.
Did you saw the Solo movie, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, this would have been a good one. How does Han get his last name?
Oh yeah, when he's enlisting in the Imperial Navy.
And he asks him what his name is, and he says Han. He's like, "What's your last name? Don't have one? Well, you're here by yourself, so guess you're going solo."
Yeah, that was so lame. It could have been so much better. I was disappointed with that little bit. I liked the Solo movie.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. I like the little tip of the hat to Darth Maul at the end. Darth Maul is an amazing character. Could have been and would be a great like storyline to follow him around.
It could have been, but the thing is, like, the only thing I didn't like was that in the Solo movie he talks like immediately, but in the Phantom Menace he never speaks.
Well,
like except for like once. He
know,
does once.
You know why?
Mm-mm.
Because the original actor who was supposed to play Maul was he ended up doing something else. I don't know if he dropped out or whatever, but the reason why he doesn't talk is because it's what you're seeing was just supposed to be a stunt man. So the stunt man didn't get any lines.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
that's what I heard.
I don't think that's necessarily.
You don't think that's true? I think that could be true.
No, because I thought the guy who played Darth Maul was the same guy who played Toad in the X-Men series. It was that guy?
I have no idea. Well, even if so, Toad said like 3 lines.
Yeah, but he's also like that guy is like he has a bunch of different like karate like titles and stuff like that. Like he's so like he could do most of his own stunts and things, right? So he should be able to talk. Oh, that's the other thing that I think was a miss in the Star Wars series. Like, I really feel like Rey should have ended up with a dual-sided lightsaber like Darth Maul, because if you look at like when she trains and what she initially has like basically like a stick that she fights with, right? Like a staff,
Right.
like a bow staff. Like I feel like she should have ended up with a dual-sided like bow staff type style lightsaber.
And I would say you're correct with actually I didn't know like this. I feel like I've seen this guy in a bunch of stuff, and I know why he's been in G.I. Joe. Or the guy's name is Ray Park.
Yeah.
G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra, G.I. Joe Retaliation. He was in Solo. Apparently, he was also in one of the Mortal Kombats, the second Mortal Kombat. He was in Double Tap or Zombieland Double Tap. It doesn't. I wish it said who he played while it showed me the movie, so I don't have to go like scroll through the entire cast and look for him. But supposedly he should have been on top. Yeah, he was Darth Maul.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, maybe I don't know. That's just a story I heard. Maybe it is complete BS, but I liked it.
All right, I think that does it for our May 4th Star Wars episode of Bald and Beardiful.
Yeah. Follow us on Facebook. You know, like the video, hit the bell notification to let you know when we post new things. Comment below and correct us on everything we got wrong, or you just whatever you think we're wrong on. You can email us at theballandbeardiful@gmail.com. Anything else you want to add?
May the 4th be with you.
May the Force be with you, and also with you. Goodbye, everyone.